Just as quick the news came that PUBG is banned, of course, it was quite devastating for a large population across the country. Now there's some hope and positive news for those gaming addicts that PUBG's ban could be lifted. Well, we can't say it too soon. It's as exciting enough it is. Is it reality? Let's taking us through this is, of course, Abhijit Andhare, who's a gaming expert, joining us. Of course, our Business Today Chief Rajiv Dubey joining us. Thank you very much, sir. We also have Vishwalok, who's our business head and for gaming and esports for India today. I'll start with Mr. Rajiv Dubey. Rajiv Dubey, here we're looking at PUBG's app ban being lifted. That's the talk that's now all around. Is that true? Take us through this, whether this is reality or just a rumor.
No, Nabila, that's the great expectation, and I hope for the sake of gamers, it does come true. But let me bring you some ground realities here. PUBG is a product which is a South Korean product, essentially, developed by Bluehole, which is the developer for this game. And it was largely being used for desktops and consoles and things like that in Korea until Tencent took the rights for developing the mobile version and launched it globally in March of 2018. And so Tencent is the one that owns the right to the game for mobile and for mobile and mobile light. And so it's a product which has been developed by a Chinese firm. It is originally owned by a South Korean firm. So it's a very complex relationship there. Chinese
larger
firm
stakeholders
also owns a small chunk of Bluehole, which is the original South Korean developer of this app. Now this hope comes from Bluehole saying that I am withdrawing my rights from Tencent for India. However, it's not as simple as that, because Tencent is the one that has gone. It's a developer of this mobile version of the game. The mobile version, the algorithms, the software has all been developed by a Chinese firm. So even if the government of India does have a relook at this, it will have to go through it will have to understand the fact how much of this is still Chinese, because if the algo is Chinese, if the software is Chinese, it's all
you can't disassociate. It's not that easy.
So it's not easy. It's not so easy to disassociate. So there's going to be it's going to be a very complex decision. If at all the ban has to be lifted, it's going to take a long time. So although for the sake of gamers, we would hope that it happens soon enough, but it's very complex. It's not easy, and it doesn't seem to be happening.
Absolutely,
soon.
Fingers crossed, Rajiv. In fact, the most trending question right when the ban was imposed was, is PUBG Chinese? People were trying to clarify if at all there was a mistake that was made. And currently we're already looking at several Indian firms trying to come out with a replica of PUBG. We see FAUG now doing the rounds. Let's ask Vishwalok on this, our gaming head for India today. Vishwalok, here India is quite excited that the ban could be lifted, but in this given space or the void that PUBG now with the ban has created, do you think other gaming apps can flourish? And you're also a father of two kids who are addicted to online gaming. Take us through your sentiments. Were you happy with the ban in PUBG, or was it devastating for you as well?
No. Look, as a parent, definitely. I mean, there are things that people are talking about, like, kids so much addicted to gaming and, not studying and all of that. But that is true for most of the sports, right? If your kid is like, addicted to cricket, would you have the same sentiment? No, right? You would, most of the parents would enroll their kids to the best of the best, institute for cricket and, probably drive them to that, right? And whereas for gaming, they have a different view altogether, right? So globally, right, this particular, gaming and esports is so big an industry, right? In India, it is like $2.4 billion, dollars, right? More than 300 million plus users. If you compare it with cricket, I'll just give you a, small comparison. ICC World Cup is the biggest cricket tournament, right? The prize pool of ICC World Cup is $10 million, right? And the prize pool of Fortnite is $30 million. And the prize pool of Dota 2 is $34 million, right? this game is, the esporting is already beating the regular sports, right? There was a tournament called League of Legends when it happened. Right,
you're saying this is as professional as it can get. It could take a spot in the Olympics. Are we looking at that as well?
Definitely. Asian Games has already kind of, 2019 Asian Games has, has taken these as, as a demonstration play already, right? And after that, in South Asian Games, it was taken as a medal sport. Olympics Association is also talking about, introducing, esports as a part of Olympics, right? In the next Olympics, it is going to be a demonstration play. So these athletes, esporting people who are professional e-gamers are called athletes. Like, we have Ghatak sitting next to us. He's an athlete, right? And he's actually
this word esports itself is so it's so new. What you're saying is clearly something that we lack knowledge in. India, of course, we're so addicted to these apps that are we just only consumers? Are we looking at professional level players here in India? At least we have someone like Abhijit joining us. Let me hear from him. Abhijit, if I can ask you, professional gaming, are Indians as adept in compared to those gamers across the globe? Are we good enough to take this to the next level? And considering with PUBG's ban, can we build more apps like PUBG and meet up to the demand and match up to the professionalism here?
Yes, we can. But at the same time, ecosystem of PUBG, like गेमिंग तो इंडिया में बहुत टाइम से है, बट PUBG ने जो इकोसिस्टम बनाया गेमिंग में, वो ये 2 सालों में बनाया। ई स्पोर्ट्स को कोई जानता नहीं था, टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैं भी जानता नहीं था 5-6 साल पहले, थोड़ा इसमें आना चालू किया, बट PUBG ने बहुत लोगों को पता है कि ई स्पोर्ट्स क्या होता है। और ये पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट की बात है, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट अभी PUBG में था, पता नहीं कि अडॉप्ट करना मुश्किल हो जाता है एट द सेम टाइम नए गेम पे। अभी आप क्रिकेट खेलते हो, आपको बोला जाके बेसबॉल खेलो, नहीं खेल सकते। तो वही रहता है ना, इकोसिस्टम बनाया था PUBG ने, वो अभी कौन सी गेम बनाएगी ये पता नहीं है।
मतलब you're saying that we won't be able to identify what is the magic formula that PUBG has, that can't we come up with a replica? Is FAUG as good?
अभी तक आई नहीं ना, अभी तक उसके बारे में बोल नहीं सकते कि वो मोबा गेम में लाइक बैटल रॉयल है, मल्टीप्लेयर गेम में कौन, मतलब उसमें क्या मेटा रहेगा उसका अभी तक किसी को पता नहीं है। जब वो लॉन्च होगा, वही चीज है, इंटरेस्ट अगर उसमें बनता है, लोगों को देखना अच्छा लगता है, खेलना अच्छा लगता है, तो हाँ अच्छी चीज होती है वो इंडिया के लिए।
Well, आप प्रोफेशनल गेमर हो, आप कितना बनाते हो? I'll come to you, विश्वलोक, आप कितना पैसे बनाते हो? विश्वलोक, this question is for you as well.
मैं बोलता हूँ,
I want to know how much you all make out of this, out of playing PUBG. पैसे बनाए हैं?
Obviously, इसलिए तो दुख हो रहा है। तो वही रहता है, वो क्या रहता है, जो नॉर्मल T1 प्लेयर होता है, वो मिनिमम 25 से 30,000 कमाता है मिनिमम, जो मतलब अभी रिकॉग्निशन मिली नहीं है उससे, वो नया आया है, उसको 25 से 30,000 मिलता है। और देयर आर सो मेनी कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स जो 20 से 25 लाख पर मंथ कमा रहे हैं, बड़े कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स PUBG के। एंड वी एज अ प्रोफेशनल ई-स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लाइक TSM, लाइक वी आर अर्निंग अराउंड $6,000 to $8,000 per month. मतलब
that's amazing. So मतलब it's a live set. This is exactly what you were saying, Vishwalok, that this is professional. It's something that you can earn money and lots of it.
Yeah, so just let me give you one example. In 2019, like the last year, Fortnite did a tournament, and there is a 16-year-old teenager, right, Kylie. He won $3 million, which is more than the money which a Tiger Woods would make or a Wimbledon champion would make, right? And a 16-year-old, right? He made $3 million, and the number which Abhijit is talking about is 5 to 6 lakh rupees a month, which is a very decent sum at the top, positions in most of the organizations, right? So people are making good amount of money, right? And
clearly,
it's a profession, right? It's a profession. It's actually, an opportunity for everyone. Right.
So clearly, we've got to look at it like that. That's the problem, right? Our Indian parenting, our culture and parenting do not look at video gaming as really a professional sport. And I think that's what should change. somehow, ironically, with the ban of PUBG, all of that is erupted, right? Rajiv, if you can take us through, with the 25% of the user base for PUBG was from India. Imagine the kind of losses that PUBG is currently going through. Rajiv, take us through the kind of impact that it's had financially for them and for us.
Yes. So Nabila, the thing with gaming is that worldwide in-app purchases are almost 80% of the revenue that developers make. In India, people do not really always prefer to buy in the app. So developers were largely making this money out of revenue from advertising. It's exactly the reverse. Here, 80 to 85% of the revenue of developers comes from advertising, and that's what they share with the players. Now here, the question is that whether as far as PUBG was concerned, 300 million users, it's the enormity of the number of users that makes a difference. It's not so much the revenue. They were barely making about $100 million of revenue in a year. So they were hardly making any money. But it's also a fact that they were getting their roots into the Indian ecosystem. They were growing very, very fast. And it was only a matter of time before they started earning billions of dollars out of the Indian market. So the ban that the government of India has imposed on Chinese apps, and this seems to be an unfortunate situation where it's a Korean and Chinese and Korean, and it's a mix of both, and so it has got caught in this. But the ban that the government of India has imposed, the strike was a digital strike on the Chinese to prevent any future earning potential of the Chinese from the Indian market. Otherwise, it's very huge on the downloads and usage, but very low on revenues right now. But it had enormous potential.
But speaking of which, I heard you speak, Rajiv, that way China is still importing from India steel that way, for that matter.
That's right.
And that they're still earning out of India.
Yes,
they have not
Nabila,
stopped.
So steel was actually India's export. So India was earning steel, but China sells pharmaceuticals to us. There are a lot of other products that we import from China,
so
including consumer durables,
the
automobile components. There are a lot of products that we import from China. The business between the two countries was almost $80-90 billion. So it's a big business as far as the two countries are concerned.
Which is still on.
Bulk of it is still on. It has had a setback, but as things open up, much of it will come back. Although the government of India is trying to ensure that the imports from China are reduced considerably. The total revenue out of these so many apps, with some of them as many as 600 million users in the country, they were earning all of $200 million. It was just about 1,500 to 2,000 crore. But these 600 million users could have become 1 billion users. These 300 million users could have become 600 million users. And those that had 1 million or 500,000 users could have quickly become millions and tens of hundreds of millions of users. It's unfortunate that PUBG got caught in this Korean-Chinese relationship. And
I was just saying that this is more or less a statement, axing apps, while many other businesses still continue between India and China. Axing apps, particularly including PUBG, is more of a statement that India is making. And more importantly, data security was a question raised. I'd like to ask Vishwalok on that. Vishwalok, data security that India is talking about, which we're trying to protect. Apps like PUBG, India was vulnerable to it. Is that true? Would you second that are we vulnerable to data security breach through these apps?
Well, the kind of permissions that PUBG was taking was not very many. It was just taking that the audio video recording kind of a permission, right, and the storage permission. It was not taking any other permissions, which is of high concern. And moreover, what Rajiv has mentioned, if you talk about PUBG, right, it's a blue hole company. It's a South Korean company, and PUBG has developed that app. It's like a franchisee model, right? If you take a franchisee of any company, right, you spend everything to set up that store, right? And you pay a kind of a royalty to that company, but that does not mean that you own that brand, right? So in the same manner, the company is owned by Blue Hole, which is a South Korean company. right? PUBG, the Tencent company, which has taken 11.5% stake in Blue Hole, owns the right to develop and publish the game, the PUBG mobile game across the globe, right? Now, once because of this particular issue, if Blue Hole takes back those rights, right, and start publishing that game themselves, then I think that is one silver lining which I see, can be there, which may help in unbanning the app. The other
Now keeping, yeah, go on.
The other factor which you talked about the Indian games, right? This
Yeah. I was
definitely-
just asking you, will India ever make a switch to another game like FAUG?
Definitely. I am coming to that. PUBG has shown us the way, right? The kind of potential which is there, right? Today there are 50 million people who play PUBG on a daily basis in the country, like which is 5 crore people, right? And more than 100 million people have downloaded this game. Across the globe, around 550 million people has downloaded this game, and this is the world's #1 game, right? So it has shown us the way, right? If we have a game like that, right? If we really do a very good job, Indians will definitely lap it up, right? Now we know that what is the kind of a potential which is there.
I heard quite a lot of gamers saying, मगर दूसरे apps में वो बात नहीं है. I'd like to ask Abhijit
Exactly.
that. Abhijit, वो there you go.
Exactly, वो बात नहीं है. मतलब वही होता है कि हमने गेम
इतना
बनाई,
क्या addictive है? Why is it so addictive?
उसमें सारी चीजें ना, पबजी एक इंटरेस्ट है उसमें लोगों का कि उसको जो मेटा बना है ना, मतलब आप रैंडमली भी गेम इंस्टॉल करके खेलते हो, तो आप दोस्तों को बुला सकते हो, खेल सकते हो, शूटिंग है, ड्राइविंग है, जो मतलब पूरा मिक्सचर है उस चीज का, और बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ खेल सकते हो, मतलब ऑल ओवर द इंडिया दोस्त कर सकते हो नए नए सोशल मीडिया पे, और देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. तो अभी पता नहीं इंडिया में जो ये फौजी बनेगा वो बाहर चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, तो देखते हैं अभी क्या होता है.
अभी आप
Because they have established themselves, right? So that is the reason everybody is talking about it, and they have really kind of made a very, very good game, right? It is, everybody is playing that game, and what Ghatak has just now mentioned, people are making friends on these games, right? I have 2 kids, right? They have a lot of friends who are in game, and they made those friends inside that game only. They don't know them otherwise, right? And they have actually got introduced in that game, and they have become their friends, right? So that is.
So
what
this is a way of socializing. This is a way of earning. It's a way of teaching you lessons. I mean, that's the thing, right? We are always, parents look at it as a distraction, but you're saying this is a lot more than that. It takes. Abhijit, आप बोलो कि एक skill क्या चाहिए PUBG game में excel करने के लिए? Skill चाहिए या कोई भी खेल सकता है?
कोई भी खेल सकता है, अब ऐसा कोई भी खेल सकता
मगर
है,
एक
बट
professional
स्किल चाहिए.
level-
हाँ, बहुत ज्यादा स्किल चाहिए उसके लिए. एक टाइम था 1-1.5 साल पहले, बाहर के लोग बोलते थे इंडियन रीजन इज अ नूब इन स्पोर्ट्स. नूब मतलब एक गेमिंग वर्ड है, मतलब खेलना नहीं आता इनको.
न्यू
हाँ, उनको खेलना नहीं आता,
Forever
लाइक
new,
ऐसे ही है.
हाँ.
हाँ, तो वही है. तो हाँ, बोलते थे, हम लोग मलेशिया गए थे, वहां पे भी उन लोगों को कुछ नहीं था. दे आर लाइक इंडियन टीम्स का कुछ नहीं होने वाला, ये रीजन मतलब स्पोर्ट्स गेमिंग के लिए नहीं है. एंड देन मलेशिया में हम लोग गए, एंड उनको वहां पे पता चल गया कि हाँ, इंडिया भी अभी स्पोर्ट्स में प्रॉपरली आ चुका है. क्योंकि पहले डोटा था, CS:GO था, इंडिया में अच्छे खेलते थे लोग, लेकिन वो बाहर जाके एक उनका इतना ये नहीं था, स्किल्स वो लेवल का नहीं था, क्योंकि इतने प्लेयर्स नहीं थे इंडिया में. और अभी ये जो PUBG ने दिया है ना फैन बेस, तो सब लोग खेलते भी है, और सब लोग अभी रेडी है अपना 100% देने के लिए कि हम लोग भी ये लेवल पर आ सकते हैं. तो बस वही है, वो चीज कहीं ना कहीं बाकी गेम्स में कमी थी जो PUBG में थी. अभी होपफुली अनबैन हो जाए तो बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल गेमर्स है, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनका मतलब इस चीज पे निर्भर है, मतलब बहुत सारे लोग निर्भर है इस चीज पे अभी.
All right, Vishwalok, a quick word as we wrap here. India today has started an excellent game. Take us through what it is all about, because we know, considering that several apps have been banned, the industry within India is now booming. It's flourishing, with many Indians now locally coming up with apps, living up to the make in India, made in India concept now. We're pushing for Atmanirbhar India. So tell us, what's this app all about?
Sure. So as our initiative, we have developed our own game called Sniper India, right? You can go ahead and download it. It is currently available in Google Play Store, and it is going to be available in iOS very soon. It's a sniper game, and you can actually save your own country, right? You'll see locations like India Gate, Taj Mahal, Charminar, Lal Killa, and you'll
Wow.
would be there would be terrorists around there, and you can actually shoot them down, right? So go ahead, download that game. So that is our first game.
Take us through the name again, exact spelling.
Yeah, it's called Sniper India. SNIPER India. Sniper India.
Okay.
Right. So
excellent. So we're excited.
We are getting into gaming and esports both, right? So this is our gaming part. In esports, we have done, tournaments. We have done a Free Fire India Today League. We have done a PUBG Invitational Tournament, right? Now we are currently doing, India Today League Valorant Cup, which is currently on. The registrations are on for that game, and the registration will be there till 10th of September. So people can come and register their teams, and then from 12th, the tournament will start. And people can win around 200,000, rupees as a prize.
Wow, that's amazing.
So,
all right, so all those gaming heads, I'm sure, are listening to you. Do register yourselves. On a final note, Rajiv, with the industry now opening up to a lot many more Indian apps, do you think we're really out there to match up to apps like PUBG?
Nabila, we still see how of these actually catch on with the user, with the players, because like Ghatak was saying, you will hear this very often. Isme wo baat nahi hai. So this will happen across the
What board. Is it that they have that we don't have? I don't get it.
No, so there is certain things about which get you addicted to certain games. There, it's maybe it's the ease of use. There might be other reasons why certain games take off. But PUBG is clearly a global phenomena. It's not a domestic phenomena. So all the best to it coming back. But to me, it looks like a very long haul, because the product that is the most popular, which is like 85 to 90% of people who are using this, is actually a Chinese developed product with Chinese possibly algorithms developed by Chinese software engineers. And so
but they are software masters.
Exactly. So one will have to see whether what's the stance the government eventually takes, and whether it does an overhaul of the PUBG Blue Hole does an overhaul of the game, or is it going to be the same app that's going to be used? So a lot of questions before this, but hopefully, and the earlier the better, because there is so much hope riding on this.
I know there's such a void right now, and there's a lot of money and opportunities that could arise because of the void that's being created. Quickly, Abhijit, बोल रहे थे आप?
डिजिटल इंडिया चल रहा है अभी अपना, तो वहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स बहुत सारी चीजें चल रही है, ये अदर चल रहा है, अभी स्पोर्ट्स भी चलेगा, 100% चलेगा, पबजी रहे ना रहे, स्पोर्ट्स चलेगा।
आपने बोला कि रशिया में तो डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि स्कूल में भी स्पोर्ट्स सिखाएंगे।
यस,
So we should open up. Vishwalok, you're the father of two gaming addicts. Would you want to appeal as a father that esports should be made mandatory even in schools? At least as an option.
Yeah. So my sons, they are definitely like playing a lot of games, and in fact I'm supporting them. My son plays on a gaming device right now. He's getting a gaming PC, right? So I really want him to be a professional gamer. So he's actually working towards that. So I'm more than happy, right? Whether it is PUBG or no PUBG, right? It's not about one particular.
No, I was just asking you, are they willing to and open to exploring Indian apps, or are they still hoping in the small corner of the heart, let's hope PUBG comes back?
No. It's the way Abhijit has just now mentioned. If you are fan of cricket, like suddenly cricket gets banned, and if somebody tells you to shift to football, will you do it? But in PUBG, what we have seen is that other games also, right? If it gets banned and if it does not come back, hopefully that does not happen, right? There are other games which are battle royale games, right? Which is the first-person shooter games and those kinds of games, right? So the skills are almost the same, right? People can actually shift. Right. So I'm not talking about particularly for a game. Definitely, people who are playing that game are, will go for that game. I'm talking about the industry as a whole. Right. So, it can be PUBG, it can be any other game, it can be Indian games. But, we should be looking at that industry as a very, very positive note. It's like, why we today relate with cricket, because in our childhood, we have played cricket. We have seen cricket all around. And that is the reason.
But come on, PUBG has been barely 2 years, and we've become so obsessed with it.
No, it's not about that. It's just not about that, Nabila. What I'm trying to mention here is why we relate to cricket, because we have played cricket and seen
super serious about this.
In our childhood. And today, there are millions of dollars being put up by advertisers, by broadcaster on that game. Now
Right.
see people around you,
I totally
right,
get
15,
it.
20
It's
years
money
old,
that
they
you're
are
earning.
all
Yeah.
on games. They are on games. So what will they relate to after 5 years down the line? Will they relate to
You're
cricket
right.
or will they relate to this? Right? So
Absolutely. I think
that is the kind of a shift which is going to happen. It is inevitable. There's not an elephant. There's a dinosaur in the room which we are not looking at. Right?
all right. So let's address
Just a
it.
matter
I
of
think
time
that's what we're here for. Absolutely. Vishwalok, that's exactly why we've addressed this topic as well, because esports, that's a concept that is so new to India altogether. And I think with the ban on PUBG, and now with all that talk about the ban being lifted and then many other Indian gaming apps coming to fore, this industry is serious and it's booming. So let's all welcome it and go along the tide. Thank you very much, Rajiv, Vishwalok and
Thank you.
Abhijit for joining us with this. Thank you.